Hi, I'm Jackson Marrott,
And I'm Charles Fritz.
and this is our project for the global health category titled
Deriving the ideal shoe for an individual based on foot analysis.
So. The purpose of this project is to help people more easily find shoes that are right for their foot. The way we plan to do that is by using photogrammetry or placing different cameras inside the machine at different angles in order to gather the length, the width, and the arch height of the user's foot. And using this information, we can then generate a value for the user's foot, which the machine will then use to scan through a known inventory of the store it is in place in, and then get a selection of shoes that would best fit the user. And this would make the shoe buying process a lot easier for many people who have difficulty knowing what's right for them. And in the long run, it would solve a lot of issues with the population's foot, ankle, knee, hip, back, and neck injuries. So it would greatly benefit many people, not just a small part of the population.
The reason that this project is important to us is because we're both runners and our feet are very flat.
Yes.
So, if we could solve a problem that was personal, we thought that it would be a good project to do. And our problem can relate to about 50% of the population that have an arch that is either too high or too low.
So, the design requirements for a project like this is that it must cost less than $200. This is because shoe stores that only sell shoes would be, pretty willing to buy a machine that costs over $200 if it's doing a job like this, because it's essential to getting customers exactly what they want and exactly what's good for their foot. But clothing stores that aren't shoe specific would be less willing to spend a great amount of money on this. So we decided that we should make something that is a little lower budget that more stores would be willing to buy. That way we reach the greatest audience. The second requirement is that the structural design of the product must be sturdy enough to support the weight of a human leg, which is about 30 pounds or more. And because we made our design out of polycarbonate with blocking for structural support and acrylic cement, that is more than achieved. Our third requirement is that the product prototype, which we have here, must be see-through in order to properly display the structure and the placement of the Raspberry Pi. This is mainly just to get our ideas across when we are pitching ideas to companies that might want to buy something like this. And our fourth and final design requirement is that the process of the prototype must be entirely user-operated, as well as the final product of our machine. It must be entirely user-operated, requiring no oversight. Someone should be able to go directly up to our machine, put their foot on it, have it scanned, or enter in their foot measurements, or whatever they deem appropriate, and must be able to go through this process and find a shoe that fits them without any supervision.
So, there are a few running stores that specify in shoes. Two are Roadrunners and Super Jock and Jill's. At Roadrunners, they have a process very similar to what we have, although they must have an employee walking you through the entire thing, which is very time consuming. You have to write your name down on the list, and then they'll take you through the process, and the computer will recommend you a shoe. So our project is entirely user operated, so they can be as time efficient as possible. At Super Jock and Jill's, the employees are all ex-runners and current runners who know all about how you should run and which shoe would be best to help your form improve as well as support your foot. And again, with our user operated system, you would be able to walk into a store, put your foot down on the machine, and get all of the same information from the machine in 2 or 3 minutes than you would be able to get from a person in 15 minutes.
So, our plan for future development is that we will take any funding that any company or government association is willing to offer us, because we really just want to help people get the shoes that are right for them, so people don't suffer from, you know, their flat feet and never have a solution to that problem. And because our design is very cost efficient, we hope that this can be implemented in any sort of store. So like an athletic store like Super Jock and Jill, or Road Runners, or Run 26, or even Big Five or something like that. But we would also want this to be implemented in more clothing angled stores that also sell shoes, like a Macy's or a Nordstrom's or something like that. And we think that with our design requirements and everything, that would be a very achievable goal to have for our future development. We could also make the design, once we have a little more funding and companies get a better idea of what this project is all about, we could make the design out of metal or wood or something like that, and companies could then put their own designs on the box so it doesn't look out of place. It's a little more fashionable for the company, and it is better suited towards them. And that's really all we got. So this is Jackson.
This is Charles.
And we're signing out.